When we arrived at the royal tomb of King Heungdeok, there's no one in the pine grove. It was full of bird songs instead. King Heungdeok was the 42nd king of Silla and reigned from 826 to 836. When King Ezang succeeded to the throne at a young age, his two uncles helped him. But they conspired together and killed him, usurping the throne at last. One of two uncles was King Heungdeok, who succeeded to the throne after his brother's death. These pine trees looked as if they were dancing the twist, but stopped all of a sudden when they found us here. King Heungdeok's wife was Queen Janghwa, his niece and the sister of the assassinated king. In Queen Janghwa's and her mother, Queen Gehwa's shoes, aren't the new kings mortal enemies who killed their brother and son? In Samguk Sagi, there is a story about Queen Janghwa. In December, less than 2 months after King Heungdeok's enthronement, Queen Janghwa was dead. The king loved her so much that when his lieges asked him to remarry, he said, "Even a bird which has lost its mate lives, honoring its spouse. How can I get a wife right now?" Shall we talk about the bird he mentioned? It hasn't been long since King Heungdeok took the throne. Someone went to Tang as an envoy and returned with a couple of parrots. However, not long after that, the female bird died. Since the lone male didn't stop crying sadly day after day, the king had a servant hang a mirror in front of it. Though the bird first thought its mate was alive in the mirror, he pecked at the mirror before it knew it was a reflection. It died weeping sometime sadly later. King Heungdeok was sad that he happened to be in the same boat as the bird. When the king died in December of 836, after his 11 years' reign, his lieges buried him in the tomb of Queen Janghwa, as he requested them to. He eventually returned to his love's eternal sepulchre. He might have made his queen's tomb during his lifetime, wishing that he would be reunited there together. We'd say that it is the best-assorted tomb of the Silla Dynasty. His enduring love for his wife was reflected in the tomb and many sculptures. The arrangement of the tomb and masonry was modeled after his grandfather's tomb, the royal tomb of King Wonsung. Here is a Hapyeosuk stone, one of two pillars showing the ground's southernmost boundary. Next, stand two statues of guards armed with iron bars, possibly from a western land around the Silk Road. On his western guard, a round wallet dangled on his hip. Look at the mirror on the west wall of Palace Afrosiab in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Don't the officials wear similar wallets? The similarity proves that the Silla traded with the countries along the Silk Road in the 9th century. Look at these civilian guards too. The statues show the tip of the sword between their feet below. You can know that they are grasping their sword with both hands. If you look at their backs, you can notice that they are clad in armor called the Yangdange. Look at their splendid official hats. They are rimmed with a cloth band studded with flowers. Big flowers are embroidered on the backs. There is a pattern of 3 birds. on the eastern statue's front of the head. But that pattern is a pelmet one, which you may find on the pedestal of King Taejong Muyel's memorial stele. However, its western counterpart has a different pattern, that of two chariots. You can find that it also appears on the Sarira reliquary. Both sides of his head are also covered with large pelmet patterns. Now let's look at the burial mound. The round barrel is supported with some kind of carved stones. First, there are base stones on the ground on which stand the face stones and cornerstones. The cornerstones between the face stones stuck deep into a burial mound clasp the face stones so that they may not fall outside. There are cover stones on them that hold and cover the standing stones. Inside these pillars, the floor is paved with big stone plates. One of the 12 zodiac animals are carved on every third cornerstone. Each animal wears human clothes and holds a weapon, but has an animal head. Each one has its position or direction to guard the tomb in. Only the animals in 4 directions look ahead. That is, the mouse in the north, the rabbit in the east, the horse in the south, and the chicken in the west are looking in front. The other ones look at the nearest neighbors of the 4 cardinal animals. Look at these stone lions in the 4 corners. They all seem alive with strength and ferocity. This is the pedestal stone of the memorial stele of King Heungdeok. Unfortunately, the stele and the dragon-carved head are gone. Dozens of steles fragments have been collected here. Look at the inscribed letters on this fragment displayed in Gyeongju National Museum. Can you identify 4 characters, Taejo and Seonghan? Since they don't say that the Kim clan's progenitor is Kim Alji, as he used to know, we can suppose that the Silla people believed their progenitors to be Taejo Seonghan. When you are going to leave this place, you may be moved deeply by the king who couldn't forget his dead wife during his life. You may also feel that his glory, shame, and consistent love seem to be immersed in the sound of the 1,000 years pine trees, concluding that human history is only a fleeting toy of time.